Hi guys, Lee here, welcome back to the channel, and you join me again today as we are back here at Aston Barclay for another one of my auction videos. Now I've got myself here nice and early today, got myself a catalogue, and I'm here today trying to buy a few bits. I've got an idea what I want. I'll go into more, I'll talk more about that in a minute, but first of all let's see what we're up against. Let's see what's in there. Got over 100 lots in today, so we're going to have a quick look round now, mark a few bits down, and have a quick chat about what the strategy is, and then hopefully try and win a few cars. So let's get ourselves in there and see what's on the offer.
Insignia, lot 8. 121,000 miles, 2 former keepers. All green and clean on the buyer's report. Doesn't look too bad actually. I'm not a great lover of insignias because I had one, funnily enough, I actually bought from here actually. Campbell snapped on it, which really upset and ruined my day once. But it's just one unfortunate event really, but if it was cheap enough I might have a go at that. Have a look at that one. Lot 9, a Punto. Bonnet's a bit peely, black appeal. Saying that we've already got a white Punto. Mind this is a 5-door one. Cover's missing. Paint's where it's pretty tatty. It's everywhere, peeling. More on the roof. That'd probably be a cheap car because the paintwork is pretty poor. Oh dear. Bit of sealant. Again, done on here as well. That could be a cheap car. What to do with it though? I don't know. 1.3 diesel, an 81. It would have to be quite cheap that to justify.
Hi guys, just a quick message today from our product sponsor Topdon, who have sent us out this, the JS2000 jump pack. Now this little jump pack is absolutely sensational. I've been using this all week. Petrols, diesels, this will start up any vehicle to 8 litre capacity, and it'll even do 35 startups on a single charge. That's how good this little jump pack is. Like I said, everything we've used it on this week, it's been absolutely brilliant. Just plug the jump leads in, attach it to a car, even if the battery's completely flat dead, press that boost button and you'll have the car running in a matter of seconds. It's such a compact, affordable, brilliant little bit of kit, and it's not only just a jump pack, it's also a power bank as well. So it's got USB ports on it, you can power DC electric off it, it's got built-in torch working at night, and it can even power a mobile phone battery from dead to 80% capacity in just over half an hour. So it's an absolutely fantastic multi-purpose item, and it's affordable. Less than 75 quid. I don't even know how you even make and sell this for less than 75 quid. I understand now why a lot of the trade lads are banging on about this, and why I keep seeing these a lot, and when I got hold of one and tried and tested it, this is as good as what they're claiming. And for the value, for less than 75 quid for a multi-purpose jump pack power bank, you won't find anything better than this. It's half its rival's price. So get yourself on our link in the description below. We've got the direct stockist in the UK for Topdon for selling these jump JS2000s. Check out that link, click it, you'll get yourself the best possible price direct from the stockist in the UK. Don't take any chances guys, get it from direct from the UK supplier stockist. It's same day dispatch, it's less than £75. Check out that description below for the latest price and offers on it. Another fantastic item from Topdon. Click on that link below and get yourself one ordered today.
Old Vectra. Used to love selling these. This one's done big miles, 146. Petrol 1.8. Windows down, not a good sign. Peter, how are you? On the register, Cat N, so the old Cat D. It's booking at about 700 to a grand. It's only done 80 odd foul, but be on the register, obviously that doesn't mean anything. 5-door though, which is quite nice, and it is relatively clean. That was somewhere around 500 quid territory. I'll be happy with that, being Cat D. It's booking at 7 to 8 and clean, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? It's on the register. They don't drive very nice, these, to be fair. They're quite very basic and old-fashioned, but a small car, cheap to run, cheap to fix. Alloys on it as well, nice touch. Mazda 3. Nice colour. This is 150,000 miles. And usually when you see a Mazda 3 with big miles on it like this, there's a scratch there, it's a shame, but it's 150,000. What do you expect? A couple more actually to go with it. But they're usually rotten on the arches here. I've seen loads of them in a really poor condition with a lot less mileage on, so to see one in that condition, bar the few scratches on, it's actually quite a nice looking car. A bit mileagey, but as a cheapie for someone, not too bad. And underneath the base is just a Ford Focus. It's not booking a great deal of money. 200 to 300 quid. Anything under £500, I'd probably have a go with that. Focus. 1.8 petrol. One former keeper. I'm not a fan of the 1.8 petrol. 139,000 is mileage. It's only going to be a cheapie. But they sell. People want them. Not my preferable option, having a 1.8. I prefer it was a 1.6. It's a bit marked, but you want to touching up and a mopping over to improve it. But it has 130,000, so you've got to take that into account. But it's got a clear report on it, so I mean, it's light scratches on it here, but then they'll come out, or they'll certainly improve. Big one there. I think they'll come out, you know. That will still make a car. Even under 500 quid. It's touching it there as well. That one's buying. Just a shame it's not a 1.6. Fiesta. 85,000 miles. Z-Tech S. Not there, but not that bad. It's a pretty decent car, that, to be fair. Z-Tech S model. Booking it about £1,000, 1,100 quid. I'd like it at that sort of money, but I think that's a bit too straight. We'll see. A3. 1.6 petrol, done 130,000. One owner from you. It's mileagey, but 400 to 700 quid for a one owner car. It's not bad. It's pretty straight, to be fair. On 6 Sport model as well. £110,000 little Fiesta 94, lot number 94, should I say. 125 Z-Tech engine, good engine. Scuff on the bumper. Dirty, because it's just come in. It's pretty clean inside though. Corsa, little old Corsa diesel, 1.3 diesel. Right here. No handbrake, oh dear. Dead common on these, usually the handbrakes, they sit in like a little channel in the back of the axle, and they get stuck and snap usually. But straightforward to fix, not particularly difficult. Got a marker down on vehicle operation, so there's something quite not right with it. Done 99. I'm not a massive fan of the 1.3 diesel. It's a Fiat engine they use, and it can be a little bit temperamental. Drives when they drive well though. When they're working well, they drive nice. But I have had a few bad ones. Be interesting to see what's wrong with it. It says vehicle operation, maybe a clutch or something. We'll have to see when it goes in. Let's have a nosy. But 5-door, pretty straight. Nice thing. 2008 Kia Rio, done 89, 1.4 petrol. Doesn't book a lot, these. 4 former keepers, done 89 foul, no MOT. Again, marker down for vehicle operations. We'll have to see what that's like when it goes through. Bit of tape on the mirror, if you can quite see that. Yeah. It doesn't look too bad. It's not too bad actually, that. Yeah. 2 taped up mirrors. Cracking repair. Usually don't give much chip these. I mean, don't get me wrong, the basic motoring, a little scuff there, a few marks, but what do you expect? Again, on the door, probably could improve them slightly, buff them up and maybe touch them in. That's not a bad old car, that. 89 foul though, it might just be sought after by a few people, but that's still an half decent proposition for most dealers to buy. We'll see. Where do I see that? Oh, a little mark there as well, but let's improve. I mean, I'd probably see that as a 22, 23.95 car, maybe more, who knows, maybe a bit off maybe, but anything up to £1,000 I think that's worth having. But we'll see. It's booking at 700 quid. That's the sort of thing I'm after today, to be honest, so we'll keep an eye on that one. New shape Fiesta. Again, 125 engine, 113 on it. Bottom book on it's 880 quid. It's around £1,000, probably average. To be fair, it looks quite a straight whole thing. Mirror again, black tape. He's been here again. Look, black tape man. Straight car, that. If that comes anywhere near that 700 to £1,000 book on it, I'll be well into that. That's a nice thing. Another Kia Rio, this time the later shape model. Lot 31, it's a 3-door, which is a shame. 1.4, it's 135,000 miles, no MOT. Mate of mine's just got one of these, I've just serviced it for him. They drive okay. It's basically just a Hyundai i20 basically, but a little bit mileagey, and it's got peppered stone chips all over it, everywhere, little stone chips. Big old wax everywhere. Bumper's a bit tatty. Still booking strong though on a 61 plate, that's still coming in at 1,400 quid. I won't be that sort of money really. 135 on it. I don't know, we'll see. I thought that was more grand car myself, being a bit tatty. Very scruffy Civic. Very scruffy. Oh, it's horrible. Got a dashboard marker, so we've got a warning light probably. 173,000 miles, no MOT, 1 former keeper. But the paintwork is rough. Wings are faded. Probably come back, that will. Buff up, we'll probably see it half right again, but there definitely is a bonnet, because that is atrocious. Proper crazy paving bonnet, that. It's reacted at some point, someone's probably painted it. Wing mirrors are going the same as well, that's strange. Or peeling, and they're not too difficult to fix. And the bumper as well, black appeal. I mean, you'd probably try and get a bonnet in the same colour. And then a back bumper, because, oh my word, didn't see that. Oh dear. Made a bit of a shunt there. So you're looking at a bonnet, a bumper, and painting really, 2 rear quarter ends. Quite a bit to be getting on with there. Piece of trim as well, plastic trim wants changing. I mean, it's doable. but it's a little bit of work. Booking wise, it's looking at 1400 quid below average, but and I think it's less than that, to be honest. I think that's more £700 to me, because it's probably going to be 300, 400 quid easy there of getting a second-hand bonnet and having it probably painted. Try and get a bonnet in colour, save a bit of money. But plus you got something wrong with it as well, so we'll have to see what's going through when it goes. We'll have to see what's like when it goes through. So I'm not against buying that, but it does need to be the right money, because that's 1400 quid is too much for me with that damage and paint. It's even got mark there, look. I'm not sure.
Right, we've been around the auction, had a quick look round. To be honest with you today, why I'm here really, I'm trying to buy, I want to try and buy some more sort of medium sector stuff, sort of like Astras or Focuses, that sort of type of tackle really. I'm not really wanting to buy too many small cars. I've bought a lot of small cars of late from auction, and also locally as well for part exchanges that have come in. So I've got loads like Fiestas and C1s and all sorts of stuff coming in. So I do really trying to get some medium sector stuff, because people are asking for this sort of stuff, Vauxhall Astras and particularly Ford Focuses and stuff like that. So trying to focus more on that sort of side today. But obviously, you know, if you see a bargain, it's really difficult not to buy stuff. It just comes with the territory. It's just really difficult to resist putting your hand up and trying to buy anything. So we'll try our best to not try and buy too much today, and we certainly don't want to be buying too much of the wrong thing. But I've seen a few bits I like. There is a Kia Rio I like, of 2008ish model. That look, I'll have a look at that. That's 5-door. That might fit the bill for someone who's after a sort of medium sector car. There's a few other little bits. The Focus Black 07, bit mileagey, but a cheapie for someone. That will sell quite well. It's the 1.8 petrol, which I'm not a great fan of, if I'm honest with you. Much prefer if it was a 1.6. I've had loads of 1.8s in the past. The engine just seems to be really poor. They don't make any much logical sense. People just prefer the 1.6. They're easy to sell, and they're dear to tax as well, the 1.8. And I've had a few that have been problematic and had problems with bottom end bearings and stuff like that. So if it's cheap and it's right, it's got to be bought. So, you know, we'll have to have a go at that, because I could sell that straight away, and I've got those couple of people lined up for that type of tackle. There's a few bits I didn't get a chance to film, so hopefully we can try and drop on something else as it goes through. Keep your eyes peeled, because what usually happens is that I'll go around and look at cars and end up buying other stuff that I never even looked at, because you just don't have time to get around there. It's quite busy today, to be fair. They've got a new vendor on board, and everything's been sort of amalgamated into today's sale. So usually it's a Thursday, Friday sale, but it's the bank holiday tomorrow, so obviously everything's on today. So we've got over 100 lots in today, so we've got quite a bit to pick through. So we should hopefully win a 1 or 2. Don't really want to get too many today. I don't want to come away with 4 or 5 if I can help it. Hopefully we don't end up putting ourselves in a bit of a mess and buying a ruck of cars, because I haven't really got much room. I've got a lot of small cars, Mama, like I said, so just got to be a bit more picky today. So anyway, we've got the plan. Whether we stick to it's another question, but let's get ourselves in there, get ourselves in position, and try and win a couple of cars.
And it's one of the Mazda Senior Boys, this looks cheap. On the 1111 exclusive, this one 100 miles is street there for you. 223 ticket there for you, lads. Stop the line up on there. Go, good in £5. Take £5 a bit, 5 in the back first. £600 on the net, 7 in the room. £700 on the bit, £800 on the net. 8 in the bit, 9 in the room. 9 bid, 9 bid. Right in the corner, boys, 9 bid. Another bid, 50's outside. 950 bid, stay to 950 bid. Nice stuff in the room. And can put that on sale. And next one of the chaps here is the Lobber 9, 5909 vehicle, and put this one 81,000 miles. Most of you are going to expect, you've got 5 little practical car there for you lads. We're going 50s from the get-go. Let's make it a proper auction. Where do we start? Start right with it. To the pound bit, to the bit, 53, 50, 354, 400, 400 in the hole, 50 online, 550, 550 hole, 6 online. On sale, to the bit, 600, at 600, pound per bit, 50 was in the room. Require that right bid, should be in the hole first. 750, at 750, 750, 750 bid. Every rest of the price, 7 online, 700 pound.
mileage bus.
Only booking at 900 quid.
So that's one of the cheapest ones on the planet, boys. History's all there. Comes to 1,500 quid. Wow. He's got a grand for that. Surely that money. £1,000, thank you, back to £1,000 here, £1,000. Cheapest one I've probably ever offered that. £1,000, £1,100 in front, £1,100, 11 here, £1,150, got it, 1150 here, 1150, 1200, 1200, let's talk about 1150, 1250 here, in the room, number 1, 13 in the room, 30 here, 13, 30, 50, 30, 50, that's sold, 30, 50 here, up to S, 30, 11, 14, 40 here, 14, 1400, 40, 50, in the room, not you right, 40, 50 here, 50 in the room, 50 here, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, not you over there, 50 here, yeah, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 11, 50, 50 here, in the border, looks like, thank you boys, 50, 51, 7 twice, number 7, thank you. Next one is number 29, and the 0997, this one's something very nice, this one's Sunshine Roof. This was all there, it was all there, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, 200, nice. There we go, perhaps a 2 points, like can roof. Who wants half the money? Here we go, perhaps a 2, photograph, £1,000 for that, £1,000 a bit, £1,000, half the money, £1,000 a bit, £1,000 a bit, over the right, £1,100 a bit over there, thank you, £11 a bit, £1,200 online, £1,200 a bit, £12 a bit, £1,200. So, let's £1,200 a bit, £1,200 a bit, £1,200 a bit, £13, got there, £1,250 a bit, £1,250 a bit, £1,250 a bit, £1,200 a bit, £1,250 a bit, £1,250 a bit, up to there, he's here, £1,250 a bit, £1,250 once, £1,250 now going twice and number 13, thank you.
Wow.
And lot 13,
That
60, 61, 62.
really scruffy.
There we go, so we go. Vectra, this is the first one, Jackson, no reserve. To be sold there, next to the bleeding starts with me, 2 about, you do the rest. 50, I'm out, 250 bid, 250, no reserve. 250, 250, 300 down on the outside, 300 down the bid, 300, 300, 300, 25, 325, and we'll sell that further again, that's 325, 325, on to the side, 325, 325, anyone else want to play? Plus 325, going twice and 325, thank you once.
Cheap car.
And lot 37 is this one, 57, 70, Audi A3, taking good land out, road miles from Rhino with car points. Where do we go? So right, £5 down there, right, £5 away, £5 down, 6 in the room, £700 in the room, 8 in the room, 8 in the bid, 8 in the bid, 9 in the pillar, 9 in the bid, 1,000 here, 1,000 down, 1 there, 1,000, 1 there, 1,000, 50, we'll see first with 11, 1100, 50, 1150, 1155, 50, 1250, that's 150, 30, 50, 2050, says no, 30, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 50, here, coming out, once, 30, 50, going twice, and next one is a little Volkswagen Corsa. Yes. No reserve. So whenever I get through boys, I will say it. Just never mind, handbrake doesn't work to be declared. History, it is 1.3 minutes.
Got me written all over it. Your second bloke said that to me. Getting a bit of reputation here for buying bangers.
That handbrake will be fixed this afternoon.
What's 500? No. 500 was my limit.
£1,000 car though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the engine that just scares me, them 1.3 Fiat engines. Not a fan of them. Too many bad ones. Have a look round it.
History and a decent ticket on there for you as well, lads. Looks for nothing for the age. Where we go? 50, 50, 50, 60, 50, 60, 70, £100 hole, 70, 70, 50, back early, 70, 50 there, 70, 50, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, on sale, 90, 90, 90, in coming out, listen up, 90 once, yeah. This one here is not 93. Going to tell you a little bit about it. 5606 Mazda 3. There we go. She's got history. She's got a January 24 MOT. She's got a sunshine roof. She has no reserve. So, 200 no reserve, 200 I'm saying where I get that, 200 down the line, 325, get 325, wherever I get, I'll sell it, at 325, what's the way? 325, I'll still be on there, 350, 75 is down in front here, 375, in front of me, 375, at 375, 375, last one up, 4, online, 4 bid, says no, 4 bid, at 4, on the line, 425, on the wall, 425, wasn't you there, 425, 50 on the net, 450, at 450, make a voice, 450 there, 50, what's 450 going to 1 now?
Cheap car. Really for what it was.
Next one, on 94, on the outside of the Fiesta. Around one last year, street is all there for all chaps. Sweet little fella, proxy fella. But there we go, £300 for me, £300 with me, £300 for me, £300 for me, £500 for me is online, £500, 5 outside, £500 for me, 500, 500, outside, £500 for me, £500 short, £500 once, with 50, 550 556 outside, 600 is outside, on sale, 650 online.
It's got quite a lot of damage on it, on the door and the bottom of the sill on the driver's side. I don't know if you can quite see it. You can't see it online. It'll be disappointing when they get it. That needs door and a sill repair. Wow. I thought that's balmy for that.
That takes me back. 9 of these. Next one, lot 40. This one is a 5808 Ford Fiesta 1.6 C10. This is one's a diesel, but petrol, a good car. Good car, 85,000 mile. History's all there for you boys. Where do we go? Start on that one, I think. Where do we go? Capture 60 25 boys, but these are very rare pieces to come by. Where do we go? He's got £2,000 to start. It'll do the dough, boys. These petrol are pretty good money. Or am I going to do this the hard way where I end up where I started? And you're all giggling, so you know it. Coming in, hard way, £1,000, £1,000 minutes here, 1,011 minutes here, 11 minutes, £200 in the hole, £200 in the hole first, £200 in 13 online, £1,300, 30 there, 30 there, 30 there, 1,300, 30, 30, 50, 30, 50 there, 30, 50 there, 1,300, 30, 1,400 is here, 40 there, 40, 1,400 for the morning, there, yes or no, 1,400 for the minutes, 50, 40, 50, 50, says no, 50, never for the 50 there, so, what's 50 to 50 now, we go twice a day, 50, right? And number 74, the isolator with a Rio and Fiesta has been a category N insurance loss, main sales around. It's a sweet little fella. On the 5 door, done 87, honest little car, and look, you've got a little boost spoiler. It's trying, isn't it? It's trying. We've done 50, so I think it'll go, we've done a proper auction. Cool little group. Which makes it a shame, really, but what are we going to go 50s, put it, 300 car starts, 300 now, 300 minutes there, 300 there, 300 50, 300 here, 354, 450, 450 there, 450, 455, 50, 550 here, 550, 550, 550, sold, 550 here, in the line, 550, 550, 550, last one, 75 outside, why not, 575, £600 inside, £600, £600 on the outside, £600 for every some months, twice down, 6 inside. And number 88 is a compressor. It is a 4 3 door, 40 miles, history's all there. Don't put the right off it, I'm confident in green. But we got some right on the chest. No? Cool. And about starts. 8 bid, they got the power, they put it 9, number 1,000, 1,000, 1,800 score, speed inside, 12 13 outside, 1,300 30 bid, belly, yeah, sold, belly bid, belly, let's see, no, no, belly, 50 inside, belly 50, belly 50, belly 50, belly 50, 14 internet, belly bid, you are 14 bid, says no, crank through 14 online, so you're on the net, 1400 pound per month, twice that ladder 14. And lot 89, at the 5909 is one of the first model, out about in the cream, history's all there. Nice tune, MOT. That's a nice little fella. There we go. Popping out last week, thank you a bit. Popping out was here. Popping by 6, 6 bit, 600 pound a bit, 650, 650 bit, 7 was here, 15, 758, 800 pound, 50, 859, 9 bid, 50, 1000 pound, 50, 11 bid, 11 bid, 1100 pound, 11 bid, thank you very much, 1100 pound in front, 1100 pound, hard put, once, 1100 pound, go twice and done, 1100. The next one is a cheap little van. It is not up to one chap, so there's no VAT to pay on this Aston van. Warranty miles there for you. Going to get the 50s over that. But we go, stop over there, we go. No that, product with that, product with that, product, 4 bids there, 4 bid 50 online, product outside, 100 bid 50 online, 600 pound in the room, 6 bid, 600, 2 bid, 50 was there first, in the suit, 657, 750, 8, 50, 9, 50. Says no, 950 bid, 950, 950, 950, 950, 950, I'll ask you, 950 once, and twice is done, 950, I'll ask the question.
Very poorly Mini coming in. Sounds a little bit cammy.
And lot 126 is the little Mini. I'm going around that one invoice. There we go. No reserve chance to be sold for whatever next. You know the rules. Talk about starts with me. Talk about bid. 250, 250 bid. 250, 250, 250, 250 bid. 250 bid. 250, 250, 300 pound internet. 25, 325, 325, 325, 325 bid. It's still online. 325 bid last call. 50 on the net. 75 bid. 375, 375. Selling more than invoice. 375 bucks twice.
Okay, so the auction's over. We've actually won a grand total of 3 vehicles today. Probably 1 more than I should have bought, to be fair. Well, arguably 3 more than I should have bought at the moment because we're struggling for room. But they just, you know, when they're cheap, you've got to have a go at them. Took a quick reflection on the auction today and the pricing. To be honest with you, the ones I've bought, I'm happy with what I've paid for them. There's a few other bits I was having a go at, and to be honest, some of them are getting a little bit too dear. I'd say stuff was maybe a bit of too expensive, a few £100 more than they were maybe a few weeks ago when we were last here, when we were really having sort of easy pickings. It was we could have bought more than before we bought last time we came here, but so I've had to rein it in a little bit. But no matter how hard you try and rein it in, it's difficult when you get something comes up and it's sort of under your estimate, and your hands, and you go up, and next thing you know, the hammer's down and you've won another car. So quick recap what we actually bought today. Got the buyer's report here. We've got the Ford Focus we bought. Now, unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry, I didn't actually film the bidding on that. Filmed it going in, but then the camera had a bit of a moment, so I didn't manage to pick that up in the filming. But we did win it. The sale price was £450 plus the fees, so that would probably come out at about £530, £540, somewhere around there. I'm all right with that. I'm happy with that. It's a little bit marked up, but actually it will clean up really nice. I think a good mopping over and that car will look a different thing. A little bit of a touch up. It's not really too bad for a car that's done 130 odd thousand miles, I think it's done. It's a little bit, I know I keep mentioning it, but the 1.8 annoys me a little bit. I don't like the 1.8 petrol. I've had so many bad ones, so I'm hoping this one's okay. It did have a green report on it. You have to take them with a pinch of salt because there's an inspection, but they're only as good as the guy who's doing the inspection. But so far recently with the inspections, they've actually been pretty spot on, to be fair, the AA guys they've had in. And they also, with the cautious about anything, they usually mark it down, so it does give you an indication of what's if something's wrong with the car drastically. But so I'm happy with that. Obviously we'll see when we get it out when it drives, like, well, you know, and have a proper walk around it. That's when we'll have a look about. I could sell that pretty much straight away. I've got loads of people keep asking me for that sort of medium sector stuff. That's what I'm sort of looking to get at the moment. And obviously I've got guys looking for small stuff as well. I'm selling pretty fast, but I have got a lot of small cars around me at the moment. I've bought up and I just need to get them processed and gone. Now the other car one was the Kia Rio. It was a 2008 plate in the black, 5-door.
the last of the old shape. There was another Kia Rio, the 3-door newer shape one. That wasn't for me really. I wasn't really feeling for that car. It did a bit too much for me, and I really wanted a 5-door one, to be fair. Because I think, although, you know, you can't really compare a Kia Rio to a 5-door Focus, but it is a 5-door family-ish car, a little bit small. It's more sort of a i20-ish sort of size, but it was a nice looking car. Again, black, it will clean up well, a good polish up and a buff up, and it will probably come up a lot better. I'm quite happy with that. 600 quid. Retail on it on the book was quite ridiculous. I think it was retailing at like 27.95. I mean, I don't believe for a minute you're going to get 27.95 for Kia Rio. I mean, I know it's only done 89,000 miles, but I think 27.95 is a little bit rich for a Kia Rio of that age, especially the older shape. I certainly think it's a £2 plus car in a retail setting, maybe 22.95. And lastly, we bought the Mini. So the little Mini at the end. I didn't actually look at it originally when I went around the auction all at the beginning. I sort of caught it last thing. But I did have a quick sweep round it, and I did hear the engine was a little bit rattly. It was marked down on the AA report as well of having a bit of dodgy engine. Didn't see an engine management light on though, but it was very, very what we call cammy. It was just very noisy. So I bought that on the basis that it may need an engine. So if we manage to repair it and it doesn't need an engine, that's just a bonus. A bit mileagey again, it's 124,000 miles. But it's a cheap Mini for 375 quid. I'm not complaining, because that is going to be less than £500 out the door. It'll probably scrap for 400 and something, and it won't be going to the scrapyard, guys. It'll be fixed one way or the other. Worst case scenario on that, if we had to buy an engine for it, I think I could probably pick up an half decent engine for about £300 for one of them. So, you know, you're probably not looking at a great deal of money to put that right, and it's easily going to be a £2 car with an MOT on it, smartened up and running right. It's a bit of a no-brainer really. You can't really lose on that. Might even be able to trade that on as it is. I know a few guys are after Minis at the moment, so they might have a gamble on it and have a go themselves. So not too fussed with that. One way or the other, I will have a fix it, or we'll just trade it on. But that's it really. They're the three we bought. I'm glad we didn't buy any more, because I'd have been in trouble really, because we're running out of space. What else we looked at? So we had to go at the Dacia Sandero. To be honest with you, I wanted to try and get that for around the £2 mark. Maybe I was being a little bit greedy, to be honest. I quite like the Dacia Sandero, not quite sure why I do, but I've always been a fan of them, and I always thought that'd be a nice thing to try. I haven't really bought one of those and sold one on. They're not really coming to my price bracket yet, but they're starting to fall in. I've sold a couple of Dacia Logans, ex-taxi stuff, but not a Sandero. And they just seem to be an easy thing to get rid of. I quite like them, I just would like to have bought one, but not today. Like I said, it was just to get crimped around the £2 mark, so it was just a little bit out of my pricing really. I've already saw it, maybe selling it at about £3 just over. Retailed us slightly more than that. It was a 900cc model, which I was happy to buy, but I preferred it was the 1.2 petrol, the old Renault Clio engine, because it was a bit more robust. I don't know much about a 900cc to sort of take too much of a gamble on it. But it was a nice looking car for what it was. It just was what it is. It's just a basic car, and that's what I really sort of like about Dacias. They don't tend to be anything that they're not. They're just a car to get you from A to B, and does what it says on the tin. Anyway, that wasn't to be. The Land Rover Freelander, that was a bit of an odd one. Didn't see that on the walk round, missed that one completely, and then obviously I noticed it on the sheet coming in. It's 2.2 diesel TD4, done 230,000 miles. I mean, it was capped at like 900 quid to buy. I mean, obviously the book cap only went up to 220,000 miles, so they couldn't even cap it at 230. It was a bit too many miles on it, but 900 quid territory. I mean, in the end, it didn't do 900 quid. I mean, obviously everyone wasn't never going to do that. I think he did about 14 in the end. I was umming and ahhing about that, to be honest, but I did notice when it come in, it had a little bit of a dual mass noise on it. It was a manual, not an auto. So I was a little bit skeptical of it. It's done 250,000 miles nearly. So, you know, you've got to be realistic, you've got to be careful. But 11 plate Freelander, as a smoker, as we'd call that in the trade, what a car that would be, or a little towing car, that'd have been absolutely ideal for someone, but not really my sort of thing. But I think I did have a go, I actually did have a bid on it, but as soon as I got took out, I was like, I do really want to go again. It was creeping towards that sort of 14-15 territory, so in the end we just left it be. We also had to go at the Audi A3, the 1.6 petrol sport model, a 57 plate. People always ask me why I don't buy many German cars. To be honest with you, there's two reasons for that. One is they're not as reliable as what people think, so I'm always a bit wary of them, because I have just as many problems with them as many other manufacturers. And also the main reason really is that the price. They've obviously got really good following, people like them and enjoy them, and it reflects it when you go to auctions trying to buy them. And that Audi was a perfect example of that. When that had done 135,000 miles, it was a lovely car, don't get me wrong, but retail, it's probably a £2.5 car. When you get into, I didn't know I was bidding on it, I wanted to buy it, but when it's starting to get to sort of like the 1,400 quid mark, which I think is what it sold for, put your fees on it, you get into sort of 1,500 quid. Then if I bid it again, I'm getting to 1,700 quid, and assuming that I've won it, it's getting expensive.
you will spend money on that. There'll be something wrong with it, like a boot won't open or a window won't work. There's always something wrong with that sort of Audi and Golfs and stuff like that. This is my experience with them. So it was just going to mount up and become a little bit too expensive, really, I thought, to be honest. And it shows, really, 135,000 mile Audi on a 57 plate, still worth £2.5 grand retail. You know, it says a lot, really. You know, it's credit to the manufacturer. They hold the value well, but you know, when you're trying to buy them like me, and it's just really difficult. And if you do get them, they're usually quite scruffy. So they're difficult things to buy. But we had a go at it. Like I said, it sold. I think whoever's bought that will do well with it anyway. It will sell pretty much straight away. They always do. There was that little Fiesta, the Z-Tech S. What a little find that was. And obviously, I would like to have bought that, but realistically, it was not really something that I was going to win today. To be honest, I thought that was cheap for someone who just wanted to put that out. What car really wants sort of putting away in a garage? Sounds awful saying that, you've got buying a car not to use it. Fords at the moment, especially the older sort of the sport models, your STs and obviously your older stuff, obviously we're going back to like RSs and stuff, obviously they've gone to the moon price wise, but even some of the early 2000 Fords now are starting to do good money. And I think if you bought that of 80,000 miles on it, if I remember rightly the mileage, sort of use it now and then, put it in a garage if you've got the space for it, I think that's a car that's going to go up in value very quickly. I think that car could easily double, maybe treble in value in 4 or 5 years time, and it's not a particularly difficult car to maintain. So one to put away there. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think the Ford Fiesta ST and the Z-Tech S, which is the one we were looking at today, is a car to watch out for? I think they're going to rise in value over the next few years, like all the other Fords seem to be doing. So that'd have been a one to put away. So it's been quite a successful day. So we're going to load one of my cars up now, one from the previous sale that's been on the car park. We'll get that out of the way. Stop the man on the gate from shouting at me. Andy, he's a sound bloke, but he didn't have to go on at me about cars on the car park. So I've got to move one of them today. I've promised him. So we'll get one of them loaded up now. Big shout out actually, guys, to Aston Barclay. They've been absolutely brilliant, allowing us to film. They've still allowing us to film as well, which is great. Some auction houses could be funny about that. I'm glad they aren't. I'm glad they've really been inclusive in allowing us to film around the place. Obviously, we have to be careful what we're doing, but yeah, it's really decent of them to do that, because it opens it up to everyone, the general public, and to the traders as well, to see what's going on at Aston Barclay. And ultimately that reflects the company, because they are open to the trade and they are open to the public as well. I get asked a lot if members of the public can attend Aston Barclay auctions. They can do that. Obviously, you have to register on the day, and obviously you have to bring paperwork and ID and stuff, but you can physically go to these sales if you want to. And traders out there, guys, I know a few lads in the trade who just don't go to Aston Barclay. They go to the opposite, they go to the other big names, and then they complain about those big name companies. I'm not going to mention them, but you can imagine who they are, saying that, they have all these problems. And it's not something I've ever experienced with Aston Barclay. They've always been sound, and their fees are cheaper as well, which I just don't understand why a lot of traders don't use them. And they're not just based here in Shropshire. They are based all over the country. They've got one in Chelmsford in Essex, Westbury as well, Donington Park. That's a big old place. We used to go there before COVID. We need to start going back there. It's a fantastic site. It's actually built on the racetrack, around the racetrack there, Donington Parkway, Donington Park, Aston Barclay. So we're going to go there hopefully in the next month or so. And a couple in the Yorkshire as well, Leeds and Wakefield. I've never been to Wakefield. Shout out to some guys who go Wakefield who watch the channel as well. I'll be coming hopefully in the next few months. It'd be interesting to go up there and see the guys up there who run that one. But yeah, it's really decent of them to do that. So big shout out to the management at Aston Barclay, particularly here at Prees branch. They've been absolutely sound with me. So thanks for watching this one, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Check out my videos landing every week, and I'll see you all very, very soon.